Hello everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Diablo 4. So I pre-ordered the beta? So the TLDW of this video is that Diablo 4 is fun and I think it's pretty good. But to start the video, I want to talk about the really weird and frankly kind of shit options there are for paying for the game right now. For starters, as I said, I pre-ordered, so I got early access to the open beta. Now, just trying to articulate that is really weird, so I'll forgive you if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But essentially, Diablo 4's open beta is going to be released next week, and it's pretty much what you would expect it to be for an open beta. People can download the game, try it, and then after they've played a bit of the opening section, they can go and report any bugs they find, or just general feedback on the game more generally. It's pretty normal. However, if you pre-order the game, you get access to the beta a week earlier, i.e. the weekend that just passed, there was another weekend of beta that you got if you pre-ordered the game. The reason for this is pretty obvious, it's just to drive sales numbers. New game, I want to play new game now, not next week, now, therefore I pay now. Hence they make a bunch of money for it. So, I mean, good from a company perspective, but I can hear the echoes of John Bain in the air right now, because it's clearly anti-consumer.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit.
Essentially what they're doing is using a process that is designed for improving the product, and they're using it to sell that said unfinished product. It's a bit evil. Genius, but evil.
Terrible. But great.
Oh, I almost forgot this too, but hilariously, you could also get a code to get into the early access of the open beta by going to KFC and buying a double down. I shit you not. Weird kind of KFC crossover, but honestly, KFC has done some weird promotions in the past. This is not the weirdest promotion KFC's ever done, but it's a weird promotion nonetheless. Alright, so I pre-ordered the game. How much did that set me back? Well, I'll chuck up all my prices in Australian dollar-doos and have a little conversion there to freedom dollars on the screen. You can pause and see what each of the increasing prices will give you. There's 3 different price points, as it were, to buy this game. But I wanted to focus on these 3 bonuses, quote unquote. You get a pet and some wings for Diablo 3. This is just really weird to me. Like all the other stuff I kind of get. I don't really like it much, like the multiple levels of a season pass. There's a normal season pass and then the accelerated season pass. And you get 4 days early access at the official launch and a bunch of cosmetics and stuff. I don't like any of these things, but I've come to accept them as part of the course of any new game release that comes out these days. But the cosmetics for a sequel's predecessor when you're buying said sequel is really weird to me. Are Blizzard intending for people to play both games at once? Are you gonna keep running a D3 season in the hopes that people buy D3 and D4 and have like a season pass for both? I don't know the answer to these questions, but honestly my suspicion is no. I assume they want everybody to abandon D3 for D4 as soon as it's released, because they'll make more money that way, right? But it just strikes me as really weird, like a couple of months before you're releasing D4, to say, hey everybody, if you pre-order D4, we'll give you some bonuses for D3? I don't get it at all. But anyway, that's enough for the kind of business side of it. Let's look at the actual game itself. It's always worth noting in a game like this where I'm playing a pre-release build that I am indeed playing a pre-release build, so you have to remember that much of the things that I say, both good and bad, are liable to change, will potentially change when we come into launch. The Diablo 4 beta was interesting in that I get the distinct impression that what I'm doing in the beta is what I'll be doing at endgame, which is often not what I feel with ARPGs and Diablo specifically. Normally the flow of a Diablo game in my mind is you play through the main story and you kind of focus the main story, and that's one game, and then you reach the end and it turns into a spam dungeons, kill hordes of enemies, and kill bosses, and you get better and better gear. You then use that gear to make the entire world more difficult, which gets you even better gear, and you just rinse and repeat, right? That's the Diablo formula, as it were. But playing the beta, Diablo 4 feels more like an open-world exploration game than any other Diablo game I've ever played, or indeed every other Diablo-esque game I've ever played. It seems more like a MMO, really. After I got to the main hub city of the beta, and I'm assuming this is going to be the hub for Act 1 of the game more generally, but the game kind of just opened up and let me wander and explore anywhere I wanted. I had a marker in the main city to continue the main story, but I didn't. I left and I started exploring. I was doing side quests and I started slaughtering my way through bandits and demons all across the rather large area of the world that I had access to. The experience, as I said, felt more like an MMO than an ARPG. There were random public world events that would pop up. You could jump in and try and do them solo, or you could join other people who were already doing them. And the world felt really dynamic because of it. Each section of the map had a bunch of collectibles, for want of a better term. There were X number of Lilith statues. These were just out in the open world, and collecting them and activating them would give you a stat bump for all of the characters on the realm. You can track the dungeons that you've done. There was even rewards that you got for just exploring, so eliminating the fog of war on your big open world map would give you XP and a bunch of other things. One particular standout was there was a massive world boss that had a 12-hour respawn timer, so it was only up every 12 hours. So me and my friend went in and we fought this thing with like 12 to 15 other people, and we're all piling on in this boss. And it was like a world boss from WoW. The camera zoomed out so you get a better view of the boss and everybody fighting it. And everyone was fighting it together for about 10 minutes, and then we finally took it down, and notably, the loot was actually worth it, right? So we killed this massive big world boss and we got loot for it. It was really cool. And I could see that being like a big thing about endgame, right? You have these rare boss spawns, quote unquote, and you just get everyone on the realm kind of swarms it. And there was a timer and a countdown before it was going to respawn, and so you could just see from the map when the boss was going to respawn. And then about 4 or 5 minutes before it spawned, everyone just kind of swarmed there on the realm. It was really, really cool, and I liked it a lot. As I said, it made all of the open world stuff feel more dynamic. So the standard kind of instance dungeons are still there, and they're still good as they're as good as they've always been, right? They're pretty much exactly the same. But the world surrounding them felt more thought out and enjoyable than previous installments in the series. It feels like it's a place to play around in, as opposed to previously where it felt more like just a way to get from point A to point B. There's also the addition of what I started calling mini dungeons. They're essentially one room with a rare spawn monster inside it. It could be a cellar or a dug up tomb, but you go in and you kind of just slaughter what is, in effect, just one room of a dungeon. It's got a big wave of ads and a guaranteed respawn. They aren't anything particularly special, but they feel really nice as kind of like filler content because of the comparably big world size. So you're going around, you will just see one. It's like there's a cellar in like a house, and you can go down there and kill a bunch of spiders or whatever, and then get some loot from it. It's cool. But this is a relatively short video, but it's kind of my first thoughts on it. And in conclusion, as with most Blizzard games these days, the game itself is fantastic. It's fun, it's enjoyable. The business model surrounding the game is annoying and obtuse. But it's definitely going to be worth downloading on the open beta next weekend to give it a try. One last thing I forgot to mention, and honestly, I forgot to mention it because it somewhat goes without saying at this point, but the cinematic team at Blizzard is still knocking it out of the fucking park. I mean, look at this.
Come.
The eternal light protects me. The divine wisdom guides me.
Open your eyes.
Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal light protects me. Eternal
There
light.
is no light here. You came to the darkness for knowledge.
Yes.
And all the knowledge you seek is here. Surrender. Speak the words. Call her home.
By 3, they come. By 3, thy way opens. By the blood of the willing, we call thee home. Hail, daughter of hatred. Creator sanctuary. Hail. Lilith.
Blessed Mother, save us.
That's just a taste, but it's fucking amazing. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.